What's up, everybody? It's Blevins Vox here with Talkbox Live, and we're talking with Beasley, Mr. Beasley, Mr. Bowen, however he wants to be called.
Hey, man.
MBB.
Yeah, you're breaking up on me a little bit. I didn't hear the intro, but I'm sure it was funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was talking about I said we can call you Mr. B, Mr. BBB. I mean, Mr. MBB.
Yeah, I'll answer to anything.
Yeah, Beasley, Bowen, whatever it is. So anything
Yeah.
like that. But he is a tour manager, and met him while being actually I went to a couple of shows before we played with Junkyard.
Yeah.
And that was in one was Nashville and one was up in Indianapolis.
Yeah, we met in Indianapolis. I remember seeing David, always wearing the bracelet that says F cancer.
Yeah, fuck cancer. You can say that.
Fuck cancer. And then you come up, and we were talking, and I remember thinking David has a bracelet just like that, and then you told me the story. That. So cool. So yeah, that was Indianapolis. That was the Junkyard did a acoustic show there, which was awesome.
Oh yes.
And an electric show. It was 2 for 1, which was really cool.
Oh yeah. Very small venue, but
yeah,
very cool, man.
It's a great venue. Yeah, there's something about that room that's really, and the people there are fantastic. From Jenny the promoter all the way to the bartenders, everybody there is just great. Yeah. And it's a small place, but man, it's got character. And I've been there at other times and seen other local bands there, and it's a fun place to see a show, and the sound is awesome in there too. So that always helps.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was very surprised at the sound being such a small place.
Yeah. I'm surprised at that a lot too. Some of the places that I've been with bands, are you can't really judge the book by the cover, because these places are they might look small, but you go in and man, the sound is just huge. And a lot of these places also, some of these smaller clubs are run by musicians, that used to travel. We just worked at a place called the Hot Spot in just outside of St. Louis on Saturday with Enough's Enough. And the guy there, Mike, he owns the place. He's a musician. He's been on the road. He has experience. He knows when his band comes to a bar or a venue, what they want, and he provides that at his venue for bands. And it's so good. Yeah. They take care of it's just, there are a lot of places like that, but there's, some places you go in and it's a small place, but you get up there and it's just a booming sound because it's, the guy's in a band, he knows what he wants to hear. And we used his backline, plugged in our stuff, and man, it was just powerful as fuck in there. And there were a lot of people. It was a great night. And, those are the nights that you really enjoy and remember. Of course, all the gigs are fun. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've had the pleasure and privilege of working with some of these bands that are, that I've been a fan of for 30 plus years. Yeah. And I'm standing at the Whiskey a Go, and I'm just a regular guy, I'm not trying to, I'm not bragging here when I'm telling you these stories. Obviously that's what you want me on the show for, but I'm standing at the Whiskey the other night, last Wednesday, as a matter of fact. And I'm watching the Choir Boys and Chips Enough on stage. And I'm saying to myself, man, when you were 18, I was 18. Those records came out, the first Enough and the first Choir Boys came out about the same time. Mm-hmm. And I remember listening to those tapes over and over again. And here I am at the world famous Whiskey a Go-Go with these guys while they're playing this great set. I mean, just a awesome. Every show was just better than the next on that tour. Yeah. And I'm watching them and I'm working with these guys and I consider them friends. And 30 years ago, I would have said, no, that'll never happen. You're crazy, but here we are. And, I pinch myself sometimes, but I always, I'm very happy, very grateful to be able to do what I can for bands and just to be able as a fan to see the music every night, and honored to put Chip's bass away or, wipe the slobber off of David Roach's microphone, whatever.
Hell yeah. Hell
That
yeah.
slobber smells a lot like vodka, but yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, and just to mention to everybody, Beasley, I know he can tell who all he works for, or has worked for, or whatever. I know he does. Enough's enough. He's out on the road right now, or was out on the road the last, I guess, 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, 4 weeks with
4
Enough
weeks,
and with Choir Boys.
right?
You know,
And
we had dates here and there, and the Steve Ramone band was there as well as the Midnight Devils.
yeah, the Midnight Devils, love those guys,
Oh,
man.
they're so great. They're so
You know,
great. You know,
and
Blevins, they're going to be on the tour with us with Enough's Enough and Pretty Boy Floyd that kicks off on June 10th in Columbus, here where I live,
I
at the
know,
King
and
of Clubs.
I'm gonna miss it because I'm gonna be headed the next day to Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a show in Wisconsin, so I'm
Well,
like,
good for
damn
you
it.
for having a gig, but you know, yeah,
Oh
that's going
yeah,
to be a good one. That the King of Clubs venue is unbelievable. You've been there?
yeah, played there twice actually.
Did you now? Oh, good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
What a class A operation that place is.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
from the
Yeah.
moment you load in, the stagehands, they know what they're doing. These guys, and I remember them being around at the Alrosa back in the day when you know, would hang out there when I was younger.
Right.
And you know, these guys know what they're doing. The owner Ricky, he has his shit together, and he, you know, everything is boom, boom, boom. Takes care of the bands. Everybody wants to play there because it sounds great. It's a nice venue, and the hospitality, the ownership, and the people that work there are
Yeah.
fantastic. And I love seeing places like this do well. I mean, I see on
Definitely.
Facebook all the time this place is selling out shows
Hell
left
yeah.
and right, and it's
Yeah.
fantastic. You know, I hope they stay open forever. You know,
Oh yeah.
places like that, and there's people that put their blood, those club owners, you know, put their blood, sweat, and tears into it, and God bless them for it because, you know, where would we be without them? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
where
No
would
doubt.
you know, we have this showcase, this awesome music that we love so much, and they give us a venue, and the nicer the better. But you know, it's all good. It's just you know, we're happy to be there, basically.
Yeah. Have you ever done a show or with a band out at oh my God, what is the name of that place? The Oh God, the Smokehouse in Maryville, Tennessee.
Geez, I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, okay.
We've
It's a Harley Davidson shop, restaurant, and big venue. I was just wondering because we played there last year with Jackal. It was a sold out show, and of course, Jackal's going to be sold out when they play at the
King
King of
of
Clubs,
Clubs.
right?
Yeah.
And but yeah, we played there, and dude, they treated us. You know, we're nobody, and they treated us like we were Jackal. You know,
Ah, that's great.
toting my shit around. You know, on stage, setting it up, and this and that and the other, and they fed us. You know, we had a barbecue spread out, had our own little green room
Ah, that's
and everything, and we
fantastic.
were just like 30 years in the business. We were like, damn, where's this been all our
Yeah,
this whole
exactly.
time?
Man, that's great. You know, when you get to do, you know, shows like that where, you know, everybody's treated equally, and like I said, it's these places that get it, you know, and then there's a
Yeah,
lot of them that are this way. I mean, I don't really have any bad horror stories about venues that we've played because they've all been a success at the end. I mean, people are
right.
happy. There's never been fights. There's never been any violence. Everybody's always cool and happy, and you know, in a good mood. And you know, and wherever we play, from a big room to a small room, with any of the bands that I've been with, you know, and I'm not on the level of, you know, I mean, you know, I'm doing clubs, theaters, and you know, and sheds and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not doing arenas and
that's it. The
stadiums.
Shed Smokehouse is what it's called. The Shed
Is that what
Smokehouse.
it
My
is?
bad. Yeah,
No,
when you
no,
said
I haven't.
Shed, so, okay.
I don't think I've been there, but I'm sure my buddy Charlie Bonnet has, who's going to be opening for Jackal on the at the show at the King of Clubs coming up, sold out. I'm sure you know Charlie.
Oh yeah, yeah. You actually told me to check his page out the other night when I was up there in Louisville, and I did, and
Oh
I went,
yeah.
"Oh shit, I know him. He's been to seen some of the shows that I've been to that have played at."
Oh, nice.
I opened up for the Trickster guys, PJ and Steve, and he was there.
Uh-huh.
And then of course he was also there at the that was at Epic Live. And then also when y'all played, Enough's Enough and oh gosh, I don't even remember who it was. Anyway, two local people playing there. But yeah, were you with Chip and them and Enough's Enough? And I want to say it was Bullet Boys. I can't remember, down in Mississippi not too long ago.
Let's see. In Mississippi with Bullet Boys, we toured with Bullet Boys
It may not
back
have been Bullet Boys. It may have been. I think this might have been last year.
Was it
At
with
Howlin'
Faster?
Mouse. Might have been, yes, Faster Pussycat. That's who it was.
In Mississippi, you say?
Yeah. A place called Howlin' Mouse.
Was it Jackson?
Yeah, Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, it's Howlin' Mouse.
It was a big
Describe that
room with a little room attached in front of it that you went through. Anyway, it was a restaurant.
Oh man, I remember that. I just can't remember specifically but I remember thinking the name was cool, Howlin' Mouse.
Yeah, it was two brothers. One was Hal, another one was Mal. So,
man, I just can't remember what it looks like.
Yeah.
But okay. I know the room. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and it may not have been. It may have been an outside thing. It was during the summer last year, I want to say.
Man, no, I can't remember the specific.
That's okay.
God, I wish I could. I remember that place being great, and that was a great night. I just can't remember what the room looks like, but
yeah.
But anyway,
I've played there many times, being from Jackson.
Yeah. So. I think when I toured with LA Guns and the Darbies back in 2019, and I know we played Jackson, and I can't remember.
It wasn't there. I want to say that. Oh,
it was a pretty big room.
Yeah, it was a big room. God, I can't remember the name of that place, but yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Seems like it was in a strip mall, or it was in a shopping center area.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. That might have been. Was it a really small place?
No.
Oh, it was a big place. Okay.
Either way, I like Jackson.
Okay, I know Faster Pussycat played. I don't know if have you done shows with them before? I mean, just last summer. You going out on the road with them, or because?
No, we were going to try to work something out, for their run this summer with LA Guns and Tom Kiefer.
Right.
But I have Enough's Enough dates that I've committed to already, and I couldn't, I already committed. As much as I would love to have gone out and TM'd them and seen those shows every night. Are you kidding? All those three bands every night. That's fantastic. What a great bill that is.
Well, I know June 18th they're going to be here at Harrison, Ohio, at the Blue Note, and I'm going to go see that.
Yeah.
Night. So, God, there's always music around here, man. Stuff going on. I just went and saw Tantric last Saturday night, or Friday. I can't remember. I think it was Friday night. Yeah, and I'm going to go see Karabi 2 nights before the Sonic Slam tour thing.
Right on.
There's stuff all the time. So,
Yeah, Karabi's going to be at the Creature Fest this weekend.
Oh, I know. God, I wish I could go this weekend, but we're in the studio. So, hey,
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
So we're going to be ripping out 4 new songs.
Oh, great. Well, Creature Fest should be fun. Was talking to Neil, the promoter today, the main dude, great guy. And we were talking, it's just going to be so cool. I haven't seen Vinnie Vincent since 1987 at the Vinnie, when he was in the Invasion.
Right.
And it's going to be cool. I want to hear Peter Criss sing Black Diamond so bad. I hope he does. There's just little things that I want to see, and plus Karabi will be there. It's always good to hear him sing. I love his voice.
PJ and Steve will be there, and also Quarantine, which is him and Jericho doing PJ and Jericho,
that's right.
And band doing the Kiss tunes. Actually, it was the Bruce Kulick days is the songs they're doing that they were doing. Cool. So and of course Bruce Kulick will be there. And Ace, yes. So very cool. Vixen's supposed to be there. Which I know Janet's not with them anymore, but
Tyson Leslie is, and he's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, he's great. That'll be a great show. And Britt,
yeah.
she's a great guitar player.
Yeah. So, and I can't remember who else, but you know what I did just see today? And
what?
I'm sure you probably have and already know it, but and I know they're going to have you with them for sure. But Junkyard on Monsters of Rock Cruise 2023.
Oh man, isn't that great?
Yeah,
I loved seeing that because I saw the guys last week. David wasn't there, but the rest of the band, Jimmy, Todd, Tim, and Pat we went to the Rainbow, and then they came down to the show to see the Choir Boys with Chip.
Oh, nice.
And oh yeah, it was so good to see those guys because I hadn't seen them since December.
The tour, yeah.
And Pat had mentioned something about Monsters of Rock Cruise, and and it was just kind of in passing. We didn't really say much else about it, and then I see it's announced today. I'm so happy for him. That's such a great gig. And they, what I always do when I'm out with other bands or whatever, wherever I happen to be, and I see someone wearing a Junkyard t-shirt, I always take a picture of that person and I'll send it to our group text.
Yeah.
And, there's people in Junkyard shirts or patches everywhere, like I remember when I saw you at the, Choir Boys show in Louisville a couple of weeks ago. You had your back turned, and I saw the Junkyard patch, and I almost took the camera out, and I thought, nope, that's Blevins. We already know him. We already know he's a a fan. But it's just cool to see all these shirts and and all the support the band has, and then when they get a chance to showcase on a big stage in front of a lot of people. And they have just such great new music. Every one of their records from the start to the latest is so good.
It is.
I mean, it's just so good. All those, after that tour ended in 2019, our last show was in Fort Worth, and I had to have the rental van back to Indianapolis the next day. So I dropped those guys off at the airport in Dallas, and then I just hauled ass up to Indianapolis.
Oh God.
And the whole way I have my Spotify on, and I'm listening to from the first Junkyard on the first record to the last. And they just get better and better, those albums, they're so good. A lot of bands had a sophomore slump, but man, those guys never let up, and they're doing the same. I mean, it's just great music. And again, to be showcased on a cruise ship, on a finer than fuck cruise ship with, great staff, great equipment, and to be heard in front of all these people, it's just great for them. I love it.
Yeah. I sent Pat an email. I was like, dude, whatever you can do, if you need a guitar tech, a social media guy, I don't give a fuck what it is. I'm your guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man.
But I'm not, no big deal if I don't. But that would be fucking awesome. Not just to go because of what it is, but because with them. But
of course, yeah.
But yeah, it's like today, man. I work at a music store, and today I listened to all three. Well, the three major albums. The first Junkyard, the self-titled, and then the six, sevens, and nines. Yeah,
and then, so good.
And then the last one, which to me, don't get me wrong, I love all of them pretty equally, but dude, I got to say, High Water there's just something about High Water, man.
Oh
that
man,
album is just unfucking
so good. Yeah, and that. I mean, they still continue to make great music. I mean, it's just a testament for great. I see these great musicians get together all the time, and I'm so happy to be able to see that. And these guys get together, like Chip and Choir Boys had 0 rehearsals. 2 weeks or so
Chip's
before the first
musician,
show.
Man, he's
oh my God, they all are. They just got up on stage. They got up on stage for sound check in New Hampshire at the first show, and just hit it. And it was on. They could have raised the curtain for sound check because these guys were fucking on. And I see that all the time. These real musicians getting on stage and making magic. And you see all these fancy guitars behind me. I stink. I'm decent. I'm not awful, but I'm not great at all.
You and me, we're the same.
right. I mean, I can play a song, but I'm way out of my league, and I'm so honored to be able to watch musicians that I love and respect so much, and they're such a high level and they're so good. They just know where to go, and it's amazing and it's so cool to watch that every night and to be able to witness, music on that level live every night. It's so much fun.
I was totally blown away with the Choir Boys. I had never been a Choir Boys fan. I think when they really came out and did start churning a little bit, it was the early 90s, and it just kind of everything else was going on,
Yeah.
Blah, 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 whatever. And I never really got a chance to get into them, but listening to them the other night, and not just because Chip was up there playing, but their music was really, it was just straightforward fucking rock and roll.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fast rock and roll. It wasn't like Junkyard, It had its own flavor, and it had some blues to it, and
country blues,
piano and keys, man. In that shit
just adds so much to that sound. The key, Keith is the guy's name. He had a piano and he had an organ, and I mean, it just adds so much to a sound on music like that. Those guys are a throwback to British pub rock of the 70s.
Right.
They're just a band that you want to see on a small stage like that. Not a small, but like I would love to see the Rolling Stones in a small place. Like a venue, like
King of Clubs.
Yeah, King of Clubs. How great would it be to see a band like that play at a smaller venue, and rather than an arena or even a stadium where you can't even, it's just too big. I saw the Stones in an arena in Kansas City 20 some years ago, and they were fantastic because what they did, they had the big stage set up, and then in the middle of the arena, or in the middle of the seats in the front of house, they had a small stage set up with little small practice amps, and they went out and did a lot of their 60s stuff on that, and it was just like they were in a small club. Yeah, it was great, man. And I love seeing bands like that on those kind of stages, and that's what the Choir Boys do. They have their own style, but it harkens back to the 70s, and obviously you think of Faces, or the rock and roll Rod Stewart stuff, or Slade, even. It's just great.
Yeah, definitely.
Rock music, and it was so much fun to hear every night, and
and that's something I haven't, for some reason, I don't know why, and don't ban me or shun me because of this, but for some reason when they came out, also the Pretty Boy Floyd came out, and it just kind of, I don't think I really even knew the difference between the two, but there is a totally big difference. I just found it out after seeing them live that night in Louisville. I was seriously, like I said, blown away, and it was stuff you don't hear out there anymore,
right?
And I was, it humbled me. It made me desire more music like that.
Yeah. Where it's not just all power chords, which there's nothing wrong with that. But, like I say, to hear a piano every once in a while really helps out. I love that. I love that shit. I have pretty varied taste musically, so I could go see a Choir Boys show and then go see Slayer or something and be happy.
Exactly.
I mean, I've got it all. I like it. If it's good music, I like it. That's about all there is to it for me.
Yeah.
But they are a special band.
And people have to make a living. I understand that,
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Oh my God, y'all are driving that damn big ass. I'm sure that thing took diesel. Good God, the money y'all spent on freaking fuel.
Well, that was Steve Ramone is a friend of Chip's, and he hired Chip, Dan, Torrey to be in his band from Enough's Enough, and then he hired me, and to TM him initially, and then I reached out to Paul Gehring, the guitar player in the Choir Boys, and I said, "Hey, do you guys need help here in the States on this tour? Because I'm going to be on it." And he said, "Yes." So they basically hired me as well. So I was, basically TMing all three bands on the tour, which, was, it was fine. I mean, we all chipped in, everybody helped out. It was such a family deal. I mean, everybody, anyway, it was a great run. We had a great time, and I'm happy to help, and and hopefully see those guys again soon. It's not like, it's all about helping. When you're out on the road, and from traveling and playing music, it's like you help each other out. You do what you can, because none of these bands. I'm not at Rolling Stones level. As far as we're not doing stadium tours here. We're on a much smaller budget, but you make do with what you have, and it all helps with the people you work with, and you all just pitch in and kick ass. And I can't say enough good things about any band that I've ever worked with. They've all been fantastic in that regard, and that's what I don't want to work for anybody any less or any different than that. It doesn't need to be difficult. Life's what you make it, especially when you're in a certain situation and you got to make shit happen. If you get the call to play M3 and you have to be there in 8 hours and you're 7.5 hours away, you fucking get in the you rent a van and you drive from New Bedford down to Baltimore, and you do the show tired as fuck, and then you drive back, it's shit like that at the time it kind of sounds like a drag, but looking back on it, we had a blast. Chip drove, I sat next to him, we talked the whole way down. Dan and Tori slept. We had a great drive all through the night on down to Baltimore, and played a killer show at M3. That place is so awesome. Have you been to that venue? What's that?
Tony at M3?
Yeah, Tony flew in.
Okay, I wasn't
there.
Sure. I was just making sure. So
have you been to the Merriweather Pavilion?
No. Yeah, what? Actually, I have. I played there in 2006. It was a festival they used to have out there called Loco Bazooka.
Oh, cool.
That's actually where Godsmack got discovered.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, man, you wouldn't recognize it today. It is. I mean, there's a swimming pool backstage, for crying out loud. The place is amazing. It is amazing, this place. I mean, it's a pleasure to go there every year, and that's just a top-notch organization as far as their.
I want to play.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's great. That place is awesome. You got to go sometimes. If you're not playing, go to watch.
Let's see, Boston. God, it's like 13-hour drive from here. I don't fly, so unfortunately.
Yeah. We do a lot of driving, which is fun. Again, you're looking at a 10-hour drive and you're thinking, man, this is gonna suck. But we always have a good time, and it's always fun. Any band that I've ever been with, it's that kind of the bonding moments that you get in a van or whatever. It's you got a brotherhood going on, and it's like the you against the world. You never want to miss a show. So you got to do what you got to do. Like on that tour last year with Faster Pussycat, we had a tour bus for the first leg of the tour, and then in Denver it crapped out on us, and we had to scramble to get rent vehicles to be able to carry gear. We had to end up renting 2 cars and driving across the country, because we had shows all over the West, and then had to drive from Costa Mesa, California. The next show was in like Hutchinson, North Dakota or somewhere like that. I mean, it was a far drive, but we had a couple of days to get there, and we just had so much fun, stopping at truck stops, and I mean, it's just, I don't know, it can get old sometimes when you're tired and you've been out for a while, but looking back, I have just the fondest memories of everything.
Well, yeah, y'all left out here, Louisville, Kentucky, that Wednesday. It was a couple Wednesdays ago, and the next show was Friday night in Denver.
Yeah.
Or somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah.
If I'm right.
No. Yeah. For the choir boys, that's what it was. They had a show in Denver 2 days later.
2 days later. Okay.
And enough's enough. We had a show in Salt Lake City 2 days later. So Chip, Dan, Tori, and I met Tony out in Salt Lake, and then we had a show in Salt Lake. So we had to miss a couple of choir boys dates to do a couple of enough's enough dates, which were already scheduled before the choir boys tour happened. So we had to, we had the commitment that we had to honor. Yeah. And man, both of those gigs were great. You want to talk about two awesome venues? Leatherheads in Salt Lake City is a top of the line. Jay, the owner, and all the staff, just great people that really take care of the artists. The hotel is right in the parking lot of the venue.
Sweet.
So, you're right there. Yeah, it's awesome. And Scrappy's the sound guy. He's excellent at his job, and the club is great with a great system. And then the next night we were in Gooseheads and Parker, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver. Beautiful little mountain town. God, and a great club, again, owned by musicians. So it is, from the green room to the stage, top notch and delicious food, and just an excellent place. And a great crowd. Again, just those are great more great venues. I keep flashing back to all these cool places that I get to go to, and all these great people that I get to meet. And it's those two places out there stand out as well.
Yeah,
the West has some really cool clubs.
That's cool. Yeah, we haven't made it. I think the furthest this band has played is Houston, going out west, and then I think my solo project I had going on back in the early 2000s, we played at South by Southwest in Austin.
Yeah, Austin.
But that's as far as I've gotten, out west yet. So far, we'll see.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of fun. South by Southwest, what a great festival that is.
Yes,
I haven't been in a while, but man, it was fun when I went. Talk about,
this was 2005, I'm thinking. I can't remember.
Last time I was there was 12.
Okay.
I think 11 or 12, I think. But either way, it's just great live music all over the place. You can't you can't throw a rock without hitting a band.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. Good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Do y'all ever what's your favorite Southern? Well, let's say, what about Louisiana?
Yeah, we played there last summer with Faster. And
Baton Rouge.
Well, we played in Baton Rouge, and what a beautiful place we played there. I can't remember the name of it, but it was downtown, and it was a proper stay. It was great. That place was awesome.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. I'm thinking that's what it was. It was something Hall. I can't remember, maybe, but
Jackson Hole. Was it Jackson Hole? No. Was we played in we played Lillian Axe played with us that night too.
Yeah. Was it Southport Music Hall?
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
What?
Okay.
Very cool place. Very cool place, man.
Yeah.
And the restaurant attached. Oh, it's just it was cool to that really had the Louisiana, New Orleans, Creole type vibe to it. I really liked that about that place. It was like, a throwback to just an old Southern bar and grill or whatever. I love the vibe in there. Great place, and a great venue too.
Yeah, there was a venue some buddies of mine from Mississippi used to play over in Louisiana all the time, and it was the Sandpiper million sandpiper, I want to say.
Uh-huh.
And this was back in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. And it was a rock and roll bar on one side and a titty bar on the other side, but it was one
nice.
bar, and the bar actually did a horseshoe. So you could, you just either go watch the band or go watch chicks,
That's
so
pretty
to
cool.
play there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have options,
No doubt.
I bet a man owned that bar.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, a woman could too. It's a great idea to make money.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Either way,
I'm sure there were a lot of people in there. Yeah, it'd be tough to be a band and have to compete with that. You'd have to be pretty damn good band.
No doubt. So, yeah. But actually, my guitar player that plays with me now, he was in that band that used to play there. So,
right on.
But yeah, so fun stuff. So, who all have you worked with before?
Well, enough's enough. I've worked with Junkyard, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Choir Boys now, add that one to the sheet, and a band out of LA called the Darbies, which are
I know the Darbies.
4 young guys.
I saw them here with LA Guns at the Blue Note at Harrison. I guess it was 2019, maybe
19. Yeah. So that was a fun tour. We did two months with those guys, and they were so nice. Ronnie, I just saw Ronnie, the guitar player. He came to the show at the Whiskey, the Choir Boys show last week. And we were talking about, Tracy Guns on that tour was so cool. Him and Ronnie got along. And Ronnie, when we started that tour in Chicago, all he had was a 12, a 12-inch speaker combo amp. And it sounded fine, but Tracy saw it and let him borrow one of his old Marshall amps and a Marshall a Marshall 412. And we, thought, how cool that was of him to do that. He set it up for him. He gave him a couple pedals and some, we gave him some ideas of, they would jam. It was just really cool. It was really, cool to be able to see that, and then to see both bands just kick ass every night, because LA Guns is so good. It was such a pleasure for the Darbies to open for those guys. You've got fans at the show that are our age, 40s, 50s and whatnot, and they see a group of 4 young 18 to 21-year-old kids getting up on stage, and they're immediately thinking, oh shit, just hurry up, get your, do your thing before, bring on LA Guns, basically. But by the time those guys fired through a couple of songs, people were digging it, and it was so fun to watch, because, they're young kids, but they're definitely influenced by the same people that Tracy and Phil and the guys in LA Guns are, which is 70s rock music, and that's exactly what it is. 4-piece kick-ass, music, and it was so much fun to be on that tour. And like I said, all the guys in Guns were great. And the Darbies got a lot out of it. They're working on a new record right now and playing around LA. So
that's cool.
They're still active, still doing it. But yeah, I've worked with them, and I've worked with of course I've worked with Faster now, and a couple, I guess I could put a couple of the bands that we've toured with over in England on a resume too. But either way, I'll work for anybody as long as they're cool.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Speaking of Tracy's one of my Tracy's probably my favorite guitarist. I just love his style and the way he plays.
Me too.
And
love him.
I don't know if you can see that. See this amp right here?
No, I can't, man. My eyes aren't that good.
Okay. It's a 212. It's a 112 combo.
Oh no, I see it.
It's the VHT. It's something that he sponsors, endorses, plays.
Right.
Whatever. But that is just
you picked it up on his recommendation.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I see, and it's got my sound, man. Don't get me wrong. I can't play live with it because it's not big enough and loud enough. It's only 6 watts, but studio wise, oh my God,
very cool.
It's going to be.
Tracy's always been one of my favorites, and I've, even before I started working with bands, I had the opportunity to meet him a few times, and he was always so cool. The first time it was on the Cocked and Loaded tour, and I was a senior in high school, and he was so nice to me. I was just floored by it. I didn't know how to react. I was a kid, and here I am with this dude who I loved listening to play guitar. And I just saw him, I've seen him a few times. He's always been super nice. One time it was at the NAMM convention about 10 years ago or more. And he had this band, this killer Zeppelin cover band called Shred Zeppelin is what they called it.
Okay.
And it was him and Robert Reynolds on vocal. No, Reynolds? No, what's the dude from Lynch Mob? Or he's in Warrant now. Robert Mason.
Mason, yes.
Robert Mason. And so Mason's on vocals and Robbie Crane's on bass. Okay. And oh God, what was the dude's name? He's such a great drummer. He's toured with Lynch Mob and oh shit.
Bobby Rock? No, man. Brian Tishy. Oh, he's so good. Okay. And this band was killer. They did all Zeppelin songs, and it ruled. But at the NAMM convention, Tracy's band Shred Zeppelin was opening for, it was Alice Cooper and then Shred Zeppelin. Okay. And before the show, Tracy was playing. He was side of the stage watching Alice, and he's playing. He's got this what looked like an old Telecaster on his lap, and he's just kind of playing acoustically, just noodling and whatever, watching Alice. And I stood next to him or sat down, and he goes, "Hey," I go, "Hey, that's cool guitar or something." I don't know how I broke the ice, and he goes, "Yeah, this is a '54 Fender Broadcaster. It's before they started calling them Telecasters." And I was like, "Holy shit, I'm familiar with that." And he goes, "You play?" And I go, "Yeah." And he hands me the frigging guitar, which is if it was an original, it might have been a relic, or a custom shop or something, but right.
That's an expensive guitar. Plus he's handing it to me and watching what I do. I don't know way, man. I immediately froze up. I'm like, I can't play guitar in front of Tracy Guns. What am I doing? What am I trying to prove? This guy's a maestro and I don't know what I'm doing. I can play songs. I'm not a guitarist. I know how to play some songs and, chords and all that shit. But this guy puts great music together when he plays. I play other people's shit and just screw around. This guy makes great songs, and here he's handing me his guitar. It was unreal.
That's
but
crazy.
He's always been super cool. And then working with Ronnie like that and letting him use his gear and just cool. He would stand on the side of the stage and watch the guys. He never did that with other bands. It was it's cool to see. And the boys loved it too. Getting the admiration of Tracy Guns. It's pretty cool.
My three favorite guitarists I've never met. I came close one tour. My favorites are Tracy Guns, of course, Warren DeMartini, and George Lynch. Could have met George when they played back here in Nathan Untz was singing for him then. It was Lynch Mob. And it was 2019. They played a place here called The Venue. And the tour manager that was, or somebody, whoever was there, was talking about, George is he's got to be in the right mood, and he's probably not going to come out and meet people and this and that and the other, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, fuck it. So I went home. Well, the lady that's the manager of the bar, she hit me up the next day. She said, "God, you should have stayed." She said, he came out. It was like a couple nights before Christmas. She said, George Lynch came out and sat with us for an hour and a half and talked to everybody, took pictures of everybody. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Sorry. Wow, that sucks. Yeah, he's always been cool to me. I've had
I know that you have had some video things. People are like, "Oh, is that George Lynch on stage?"
Yeah, people at there was the festival in Key West.
Was it this year?
Yeah, this past January.
Okay.
Dan Hill and I, the drummer in Enough, we rented these little mini bike scooters to ride around the island, you know, and we were cruising around on our scooters, and I was pulling out of the venue, going back to the hotel to get something, and I hear somebody go, George, hey George, I loved your set or something like, I love your show or love you or something like that, you know, and I waved as I rode by because I didn't hear what she said really. I heard her say something, and when I saw her wave, and I just was nice and waved, and I heard her say I loved something, and I just said thank you because I didn't want her to think that whoever she thought I was an asshole. Turns out she thought I was George Lynch because somebody told me on Facebook on the festival's Facebook page that somebody posted a picture of me that they took while I was talking to somebody on backstage or something, just a candid picture of me, and posted it and said, "Is this George Lynch?" Or
weren't you?
What's that?
Were you holding a guitar or something?
No, I took a couple of pictures I posted of his guitar on the stage.
Okay. That all kind of went together with it.
I tried to actually hold his guitar. This is kind of a cool story. At that venue, the dressing rooms are trailers, and they're across a little service street from the actual backstage part of the venue of the stage. So to get from the dressing room to the venue, you had to cross the street and go through a gate, and there was a guard at the gate. And I was standing there talking to the guard. We were just bullshitting. And George came out of the dressing room because he only did the last 3 songs in Dawkins' set. So when he heard whatever their last song was, he started walking towards the stage to get ready to do his 3 songs. And he was carrying the green and yellow kamikaze guitar without the case. He was just carrying it in his hand, walking across the street from the dressing room. And when he got close enough, I said, George, do you want me to help you? Want me? And of course, he didn't need me to help him carry it. He was doing fine, but I wanted to hold the goddamn thing. I offered to help him, like, here, let me, do your grunt work for you, and let me touch this guitar for however long it takes to walk it up on stage. And he looked at me and he goes, no, I'm okay, dude. And I go, all right, carry on or whatever, But I really just wanted to hold the damn thing,
No shit.
But definitely. Then I followed him. He walked up on stage and he just shredded the place, man. It was he was really into it, and you can tell when he's into it because he would just keep soloing, and he plays those songs different every night, and every night they're so cool, I know. He's got such a great style. I love it. Yeah. And then the next day, there was an all-star jam at this stage on a pier out in the ocean. Beautiful setting. And Chip's up there. George is up there.
Mark Torian was up there.
Andrew Freeman, Mark Torian. Yeah. Dickie and Dan from and Robbie from Jack Russell's Great White.
Right.
They were all up there. I mean, and just hearing George play, Highway to Hell or rock and roll from Led Zeppelin, and his style, it's still cool. Yeah. And again, to just be that close to that kind of great talent is just so much fun.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, any coming up tours? Let's see. You said you're going to be with shit.
Yeah. We'll be with Enough's Enough this weekend at Creature Fest in Nashville.
Yeah, Creature Fest. And then what's that?
And then we have a couple of shows the 3rd and 4th of June in Chicago. One private party and one little town festival or something in Chicago coming up. And then on the 10th of June through, I think, the 26th, we're out with Pretty Boy Floyd and the Midnight Devils starting in Columbus, Ohio at the King of Clubs on June 10th.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of them again, the Midnight Devils, man, because I took a video of them playing. I can't remember the name of the song. It might have been the song Midnight Devils. It might have been something like that. Anyway, and it was the very end of it, and then they a little piece right there, and then they go into Panama.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a fucking killer version of Panama. Yeah. Just enjoyed the shit out of that. And I posted that and it pissed me off. I'm not going to mention names or anything. And some people went on there and were like, "Oh my God, that's god awful. How does anybody listen to that?" And I wanted to say,
wow,
fuck you. I don't go on shit that you like. You fucking went and saw Tiffany, and I didn't fucking say who the fuck gave a shit about that.
Well, people are just assholes.
I mean, but the thing is, don't say that, but at least I know all they did was listen to the very end of that one song. Go for more than that,
Yeah.
It was two people, and to be honest with you, I almost unfriended them.
Yeah, that's what I do. If people talk shit on my page, I lose them because
there was no sense in that shit.
No, there isn't. It's not cool. And I've been seeing a lot of shit following the Choir Boys, since they split with their singer Spike recently. A lot of people are on their social media really cruel comments. I wish you would die, and you're a shitty tribute band, stuff like that, and it's terrible. I mean, I can only imagine what these people that are so fearless behind the keyboard do for a living. I would hate to think what these people do for a living, and the jealousy comes out in your fingers on the keyboards a lot, and and that's all it is. At the end of the day, they still have shitty lives, and those guys are still doing what they want to do.
Yeah, I was when I interviewed David Roach 3 or so years ago, 4 years ago, however damn long it was. Me and him were talking, and something was mentioned. I don't even remember what about. I even brought it up because it pissed me off at the LA Gun show that they played here in Cincinnati at Bogart's. Jack Russell's Great White was supposed to be there, and they didn't make it because of flight issues or something. Blah blah blah, and it was just Junkyard and LA Guns. So I think they had a local band maybe open, but anyway, Junkyard's up there playing. Of course, they're like my favorite fucking band, besides LA Guns, and I'm just loving it. And fucking some jackass is in the seated area with all these people going, "Boo, get the fuck off stage. Why the fuck are you even here?" And blah, blah, blah. And, bring on LA Guns and yada, yada. And I looked at him as a big old fat guy. He was in a wheelchair. And I said, "Shut the fuck up. I shouldn't have done that." But it just.
No, you should have. Just because he's in a wheelchair doesn't mean he's not an asshole.
But it brought the bad out in me and stuff. But David was like, "Well, we just went on that tour. They had just went and played in Europe like 2 weeks with the Blackberry Smoke or somebody like that."
Right, Blackberry Smoke.
Yeah. He said that people were booing them there because they weren't the headlining band, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah." He said that shit goes on everywhere, man. And I'm just like, that's such bullshit, man.
Yeah. Well, people feel entitled. People pay for a ticket or something or whatever, and they feel that they can, say what they want, say what's on their mind. Even people that, like, there was a guy once at an outside show we did somewhere with Enough's Enough, and he's standing up in front of the stage, close enough in earshot of the band, yelling what songs he wants to hear and disagreeing when they wouldn't play them. And, so bad, there wasn't security there. I wanted to bounce the guy myself just because I wanted him to shut the fuck up. They'll play your songs, or if not, just enjoy, shut your hole,
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear. People are trying to listen to a band. They don't want to hear your dumbass yelling at what songs you want to hear because you've got a few Bush Lights in you,
Yeah.
Just relax.
Yeah. And this guy was bugging everybody that was around him. He was I don't know if you've ever been to Bogart's?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You know that seated area before you walk down?
Yeah.
From that first bar? Okay. He was sitting in that seated area right there, and that was all made out for, I guess, handicapped people and
wheelchairs and stuff.
And stuff like that, And,
right.
But it's not like, Junkyard wasn't on the bill. They were already on the bill in the first damn place. It wasn't like they were just brought in. you know. And even if there
Well,
were, there's no reason for that. But
nah,
but I am
you
kind
know.
of biased in the first place, you know. But
Well, I mean, anybody that's even not familiar with Junkyard, any LA Guns fan, I would think would be
would
familiar with
know who
Junkyard.
oh my
But even
God,
if
yeah,
they weren't, just shut the fuck up and listen to them kick your ass for 40 minutes or however long they're out,
no
because that's
doubt,
what they do. You
no
know it. You've
doubt.
seen them enough to know that that band, they get out there and they get in the pocket, and Roach is just marching around like,
Oh my,
he's
I
looking
know.
for his,
He has got such a fucking it's a weird charisma, but he's got something that just makes you just like in awe
Yeah,
of
yeah, he's
him.
just
I
got a
don't know
cool
what it is.
stage vibe, and they all
Yeah.
do. They, like I say, they get into that groove,
Mm-hmm.
and it's on, and it's a hell of a ride. And just
Yeah.
so there's always assholes, or as Chip would say, jagoffs. They're all over the place.
No doubt.
But and they get you sometimes. But shit, there's more good than bad that I see, even on social media. And every crowd that comes, everybody that comes to the show, the 9 out of the 10 fans I meet, I'm friends with now, and they're cool people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's we're all into the tunes, and that's all there is to it. We're all the same.
Exactly.
I just happen to work for the guys, but I'm one of you. I'm not. I don't mean one of you. I mean, I'm a fan.
Oh yeah.
Before
Yeah.
anything, I love hearing them tell stories. I love being around it all, because I
Exactly.
live for this shit. It's all
Yes.
I've ever loved. I've always, all I've ever done is music in my life. So thank
Mhm.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, man. It's really interesting. The how people can react to different stuff. I was
Yeah.
talking to Danko Jones and told him about what the story, and he was like, first off, you can't fucking boo or talk shit about Junkyard. He's a huge
Oh yeah. And
Junkyard
they're a
fan.
huge fan of his.
Yeah, I know exactly. So
Yeah.
he was just like he was fucking floored that
Yeah.
happened. You know,
I'm sure he's
and
having people talking shit about him too.
oh, he
I mean,
does. He
like
does
I said,
because
people just get this sense of entitlement. You
oh yeah.
know, um, I worked in radio before I did what I'm doing now,
Oh
and
yeah, that Cullum, what's that damn company?
Cumulus.
Cumulus. I can never say that.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, I worked for them for a while. I'm glad I don't work for them anymore. But
The enemy. The
well,
enemy.
they're all the enemy pretty much. I can't believe it's not washed out to sea yet. The whole radio industry. I mean, it's just. But that my personal opinion. But
Exactly.
I used to do that for a lot of years, and and listeners would think they'd call the station, and if you didn't play what song they wanted to hear, well, I'm just not going to listen anymore. They have this like entitled feeling, and I'm thinking bullshit. You're going to listen because you like the music we play. Just because we can't cater to your playlist, lady, doesn't mean that you can threaten to not listen. Like that's going to matter in my fucking day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's the
Exactly.
entitlement, and people get it. I understand. You spend money for something, and you think you ought to be able to say what's on your mind. And and the cool thing about this country is they can say what's on their mind. But sometimes people just need to keep their mouths shut. There's what is it? If you can't say anything nice, don't say nothing at all, or some shit.
That's right. Exactly. And I need to take from that because sometimes I don't have very nice things to say.
Yeah, I don't get involved
If
in
you
any of
piss
that
me
shit.
off. Oh no, I'm talking about if you fuck with me, then I'm.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, my motto is do no harm, but take no shit. Right? I mean, I'm not going to mess with you, but don't mess with me. Let's be cool and enjoy whatever we're doing.
Exactly.
That's how I feel about most things. And fortunately, I've never had an issue with any clubs, staff, or concert goers, fans, whatever. Everybody's always been cool. Never had to resort to violence, and
Yeah,
it's the way it ought to be, man.
oh yeah, yeah, no doubt, definitely. So, well, cool, man. Well, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Everybody
me
check
too.
out any of these bands that not just any of the bands that Beasley does tour managing for, but support your local rock musicians
Yeah,
in
for
the first
sure.
place. And if you want to promote your tribute band, go ahead. I'm not here to tell you not to, but I'm an original guy. But anyway, but definitely if you can get out to any of these places, like he said, Chicago, June 3rd and 4th, they're going to be in.
Yeah. Check out the Enough's Enough, the Grand Slam Metal Jam with Enough's Enough, Pretty Boy Floyd, and the Midnight Devils. We check the website for dates. I know we go from Columbus to Detroit, and then we head east from there. But we'll be all over the place. So come on out and see 3 great bands. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a show, that's for damn sure.
Oh yeah,
and say hey to me, and we'll have a nice chat about music and whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely. Haven't seen Pretty Boy Floyd, but I know Enough's Enough always kills it, puts on a great show.
Yeah, they're a great
Corey,
band.
Tony, Daniel, and Chip, of course.
Yeah.
And the guys, I don't know their names, but the guys in Midnight Devils, I'm actually I got to get them on a show. The bass player, what's his name?
Sam. Yeah.
Sam, that's right. Sam. Yeah.
He will definitely. He's a great guest on. I've hooked him up with a couple of other friends that do these shows. They do podcasts. He told me to
hit him up, and I haven't done it yet. But
do it. He's a great guest. He's got good stories too. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah,
great guys. They're so much fun to watch. So definitely get there early if you come to see Enough's Enough and Pretty Boy Floyd. Yes. Definitely get there early enough to see the Midnight Devils, because they put on a hell of a show and they get a crowd so wound up. It's so great.
Oh yes, he is a killer front man.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, he reminded me a lot of his look a little, but some of the songs he sang and stuff, I could hear Bret Michaels. And
I
can
hear Paul Stanley.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, and that guitar player,
Sniper.
That's it.
Yeah, he's my boy.
A wizard on the guitar, man.
Yeah, he's great. He's a big fan of Eddie Van Halen, so he does a lot of licks and a lot of dive bombs and shit. He's great.
Oh yeah.
And Jimmy Mess, the drummer, you can't go wrong with Jimmy. He's a unique individual.
Yes,
just look for the tall, lanky fella in the mini skirt and fishnets, and that's him. And if you don't see that, just look for a guy with the word "mess" tattooed on his eye. Can't miss him.
He was a hoot. He was definitely a hoot that night.
Good dudes.
Talked to him for a second outside. So
yeah. Good guys. Well,
cool, man. Well,
man. Great talking to you, man.
Oh yeah, and definitely. And hope to catch you out sometime soon. I'll definitely see you out somewhere. And
good deal.
Once we get busy enough, maybe we can hire you one day. So
hey, you let me know. You got my number.
Yeah, no doubt. So we'll do it, man.
I know a guy. We can cut you a deal for sure.
Hell, we need to go out on the road with Chip. I've been trying to get a damn a show with Chip. That's enough forever.
Well, shit, keep trying, because it's not impossible. We can definitely work it in.
It's just, it's hard with us being, my guys being there and me up here.
Yeah, I get it.
A little easier for one to go south than it is 3 to come north.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully we'll get some southern. I know we've got in October, we're going to be in Texas and in Florida with Pretty Boy Floyd, doing a part 2 of that tour.
Oh, nice.
Coming up in late summer, but there'll be more to come about that.
Oh yeah.
But
cool.
All right, man. Well, it's great talking to you, Blevins. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you out there.
All right, man. Have a good one.
See you, buddy. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. So that will be the end of our show tonight. And let me, there we go. He figured it out. So anyway, next Wednesday, we don't have anybody, but the week after that, June 8th, we have Tara Lynch from the Tara Lynch Band. She is going to be on the show, and we're going to talk all about her, and definitely check her out online, Tara Lynch, and I think it's Tara I'm not positive anyway. But yeah, check her out. Got to get some more people. I've been slacking a little bit, so we're going to get to work on some stuff. I'm going to get the Midnight Devils, check them out. They just released a new album that came out 2 Fridays ago, and man, it's really cool stuff. You have to see these guys live to really appreciate them. They're a 3-piece, and the bass player is the lead singer, and that cat has a motor that's 150 mile an hour all the time, 150% all the time. I mean, he is just wide ass open, and great dude. Really cool stuff. It's kind of a punk glam type thing. So definitely give it a chance. It's good stuff. But yeah, everybody, this is Blevins with Talkbox Live, and I'm going to get out of here and see y'all in 2 weeks. If not, I may have somebody on by next week, and I will let everybody know ahead of time. So peace out. See you later.